to the president yesterday. Well, let's take you to our Twitter poll question. And today on our Twitter poll question, we're asking you, do you think the sugar sector in Kenya can be turned around to be more profitable? Do you think the sugar sector in Kenya can be turned around to be profitable? That is our opinion question today. Share with us your feedback on our Twitter handles at KTN News, or you can tweet me at Agina Abi. Well, like I mentioned earlier, we shall be unpacking matters to do with markets, and this is online trading. And we are now joined by Kevin Nganga, who is the CEO of Scope Markets. Thank you, sir, for making time for us.
Thank you for having me, Abi.
Very sharply dressed, definitely looking like a trader.
Well, thank you again.
All right. We did start off our show, of course, looking at how the Kenyan shilling has performed. It's now trading at about 101 to the dollar. But in actual sense, trading is not just about currencies. We also have stocks that are trading.
Correct.
Commodities. And commodities are trading. Just walk us through, perhaps from a sense of things, where does Kenya lie when you look at the bigger picture when it comes to the online forex trading market?
Thanks again, Abi, for having me. From a perspective of the Kenyan online forex market, we've seen some great strides that have happened over the last 2 years. This was, of course, facilitated by the enactment of the online trading regulations that were gazetted by the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury in 2017.
Sure.
That opened up, that opened up the ability for investors to now get licensed and open this product up for Kenyans. Before the regulations, it was a very fractured, non-regulated environment that presented investors with a lot of risks because you have unruly, unregulated brokers targeting Kenyan investors who have a very trusting ability, and you typically find that when you go dealing with an unregulated broker, you don't have recourse in case there's a complaint, in case there's a loss of your money and that sort of thing. And I'm really happy to say that the government has actually taken a lot, because online trading has been taken up by a lot of Kenyan youth. Those ones who are straight out of college, those ones who are actually employed and are looking for a second form of income. And this has given them a safe, regulated environment where they can be able to trade.
All right. Speaking about trading, of course, as Scope Markets, you're joining the Kenyan trading market at a very interesting time when a number of Kenyans are trying to diversify their investments.
Their income streams, yes.
And what has been the uptick like when you look at how the market has been responding?
Okay, we launched at the end of November last year, so we typically are in the third month of operations. But one thing that is very critical and one thing that has been consistent in all the feedback is there's a lot of interest, because Kenyans have been used to traditional asset classes that are struggling to deliver double-digit returns. Your traditional equities, savings accounts, 3%. Land has started now tapering off, so they're starting to ask, what else can I do? And the biggest feedback we've gotten is, can you educate us? We need to learn a lot more about forex trading. We need to learn more about online trading. How can I trade in oil without having to send my money to some offshore broker? So what we've done at Scope Markets is we've listened to the audience, we've listened to the investing public, and we've rolled out a fully fledged training program. We actually took office spaces, and we are expanding into the greater part of Kenya, where we are taking an active role in educating public, because this is a new product. You have probably about maybe 50 to 70,000 retail traders from the last 10, 15 years. So we want to scale this up and open it up as an alternative. So if your stock portfolio is not working for you, there are other ways. If you're looking for additional income, because what Forex does for you is it allows you flexibility. You only need a mobile phone and an internet connection. And the Forex market and the commodities market are typically 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. So you can trade at your convenience. So we have a fully fledged training program based on in our offices, which can hold about 90-seater. We have 3 different rooms, and we train Tuesday through to Saturday. This is in response to what the market is asking us to do. They want to learn a lot more, and we are happy to take this journey with them.
Interesting. And let's open up the conversation further, Kevin. When you look at Forex trading, talk to us in terms of what are the key stocks that majority of the stock traders are actually keen on, especially for Kenya.
Okay.
I know it's a different mix when you go to South Africa and also when you go to Nigeria.
So one of the things that we've seen is there's a lot of interest in forex. So the asset class called forex, where they can trade on all major currencies, we've seen very, very key interest. It's actually our biggest market share. The other thing that we've seen critically is a lot more interest in UK and US shares. So we're receiving a lot of queries. How can I trade Apple share? There's been talk of Tesla. How can I trade Tesla shares? So we're seeing a lot of interest. Then as well, due to our low cost of entry, a lot of institutional clients, fund managers, banks, are querying and saying, today I have to send money to Franklin Templeton. I'm not sure how that. Do you offer the following products? And we have responded to that, and we are now offering that. And we already now have institutional clients that are trading for local markets with an access to global markets without having to send them money offshore.
And speaking about the global markets, of course, right now it's also a very dicey time with coronavirus.
Markets.
The issues around the trade wars between the
US
two countries.
and China.
Yes. How is this likely to affect the forex market, which is very susceptible to volatility?
It presents two things in my view. It presents an opportunity, but it also heightens the risk. So what do I mean by it presents an opportunity? If you look at the banking stocks over the Kenyan banking stocks over the last few weeks, there's been it's been lethargic, not much movement. But you've had coronavirus. Yesterday, the US markets, the Dow Jones went down about 800 points. It presented an opportunity for people to say, what does coronavirus mean? Coronavirus means poor access for exports for China, poor logistics, a lot of risk, what we call risk on. So most people will be going to safe haven assets. Safe haven assets look like gold. So our platform allows investors to say, if we need to take less risk in markets, what asset class do we need to invest in? Gold. Gold is up to multi-year highs just over the last 2 weeks. That's what we give our clients. Of course, because of the volatility and the uncertainty, it also presents a risk to clients, because it means that you must take a lot more research. You must measure your risk to take less risk in those markets, because they're very fickle right now. So we give our investing public the opportunity to say, coronavirus, in as much as from a global perspective it is a pandemic and people are concerned, it gives you an opportunity to defend your portfolio. Yes, so that's the kind of opportunities we are offering.
Interesting. And talk to me about the demographic of the kind of investors who are keen on the forex market. And what are the volumes looking like in terms of movements?
Okay, so we have been having a very interesting conversation actually this morning with the management team around what's your typical client profile. We have seen the biggest concentration is between 25-year-olds and 35-year-olds. Most of them are employed. A significant portion, of course, are Nairobi. But one thing that's very interesting is in other markets, you typically find that it is a 70% split for men. But we are noticing that in our profile, we're seeing close to 40%, 45% being women, which means it's an even split, which means that a lot of women investors and a lot of women are interested in this trading. And we are responding to those requests because we are looking at what is it that the ladies are looking for, what's important for them. And that's something that we are responding to. From a volume perspective, we've seen a lot of uptake. As I said, we've been in the market for 3 months. We've got over 4,000 accounts already. We are pushing on along. We expect to recruit a lot more sales team. We started with a sales team of staff count of about 12, and now we're up to 35 because of what the market is demanding from us. So we see a lot of growth opportunities going forward.
All right. And as we wrap it up, Kevin, talk to us about some of the exposures that forex trading has, because at the end of the day, any investment
has a risk.
Has a risk attached to it. And how are you maneuvering through this? I remember having a chat with a colleague of mine called Gidaiga.
Yes.
He was telling me how his younger brother had invested in FX. Then his computer crashed.
Yes.
Thereafter, when they're catching up, getting online back, he lost almost around $100.
Yes. So two things. What we do in our training sessions is we do it in two parts. We teach you the technical, how to use the platform, how to look at markets, what to understand, what to look for. And then we take you through a second part, which is psychological, where we tell you it's very exciting to see money piling up because it's real time, and it can also entice greed and also fear. So we try and teach
addiction.
And addiction. Okay, not addiction is a strong word. I think it's ability to understand your psychology around when you're making money, that good feel factor, how to control it, and when you're losing, that fear factor of how to control it. So we teach a lot on psychology of trading. What we've also done is we have a lot of mentors. So we've taken partnerships with global hedge fund, people who have seen it all, like global financial crisis, they've seen the Swiss, and they teach you and they continuously mentor. From an exposure perspective, we encourage people not only to have access on their trading platform, but also on their phone, because you can trade both on your trading platform and that. The other thing is, please put in risk parameters, because our systems allow you to put in risk parameters that will prevent you from losing significant amounts of money.
All right.
Yeah.
Kevin Nganga, CEO of Scope Markets. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me again, Abby.
All right. That is a discussion around the online forex trading market. And of course, a lot of excitement for Kenya